Well, welcome back to our spoiler edition of episode 4 of The Last of Us Part 2. Well, season 2, I guess I should say. And we're just going to jump right into it. We're back in the woods in Seattle. Hope you're having a great day. Had to get out enjoying some of the sunshine. My arm's starting to heal up. But we got to get this video done. So let's get into it. We start off with basically our introduction to Isaac, who is a former sergeant for Federa, now with the WLF, and basically shows him doing some sketchy stuff to start off the video, killing his own men, basically backstabbing them. They don't know what's going on. He throws a grenade to the back of a cop, or like a kind of like one of those money vehicles that they use to transport money, those big trucks. But anyways, blows them up, takes one guy with him, and basically that's our introduction to Isaac. If you remember from episode 1, Owen actually name drops him when he's talking about, you know, we need to head to Seattle next. I know this guy who will take us in. His name's Isaac, and he's basically running the show down in Seattle. So that was our introduction to episode 4 and to Isaac. From there, Dina and Ellie proceed to make their way into Seattle, and this is probably my favorite section of episode 4. This is kind of the crux, in my opinion. Dina starts off by finding a pregnancy test in the back of this convenience store, and you can tell by the look on her face that something is kind of up. She's acting a little coy when she meets back up with Ellie, because she basically tells her to, you know, go ahead real quick, I gotta take a pee. You know, I'll catch up. But she was really trying to take a pregnancy test. She was pregnant, and sure enough, she was. So they make their way into Seattle. They find this vinyl shop. They go in, they start kind of looking around at vinyls. Ellie proceeds to make her way upstairs, and I could tell by the room immediately because they did such a great job with the aesthetic of this shot, which is optional in the game, by the way. But she finds a guitar in a case, sits down, and starts to play Take On Me. And Bella Ramsey absolutely knocked it out of the park. Once again, she actually plays guitar too, so she really played the song, put so much emotion into it. And it's basically as soon as she started tuning the chords, Elizabeth, who plays Dina, hears her go upstairs, and the look in her eyes, the emotion she displays, is so powerful in the scene and captivating, and just hooks you in as an audience member and really makes you emotionally invested in the scene. And I think she's done just an excellent job with that this entire series, especially season 2. And this was just another example of Dina and Ellie and Bella and Elizabeth's chemistry on screen. You're watching blossom in real time. And like I said, this was an optional scene in the game, an optional thing to do, so it was so cool they put this into the game. And a little nod that I really appreciated. Then we have a completely different change of pace. I probably shouldn't be swinging my arm like that, but it goes back to Isaac, and he's in this kitchen, and he's basically interrogating the Scar, trying to figure out where their next attack's going to be. And it starts off by him turning on this burner. He's heating it up. You're like, what the hell is this guy doing? And he takes a pan, he puts it on top, goes over and sets it right on top of the dude's hand. And he's butt-ass naked, just sitting on the floor, suffering, being tortured, and will not give up anything. And basically he goes back to do it again, and he just sticks out his hand, and Isaac's just like, all right, you want to play that way, man? Boom. You're done. So I will say Isaac has had quite a bold introduction so far. Not sure how I feel about him. Not sure I'm supposed to feel any way about him, but obviously Abby and this guy are about to team up in some way in Seattle. From here, Dina and Ellie proceed to go into the radio tower. And this is one of the most accurate demonstrations of the video game, I think, in terms of the gameplay. Because Ellie, you know, basically they stumble across these WLF, I don't know why I always struggle to say that, officers. And they're all hung. It's pretty graphic. And the rest of the backup teams come in. So Ellie and Dina basically have to scramble, make their way out of this building. And in the process of doing that, Ellie goes into this room, basically hides by this soda can machine, it's a soda machine, and sneaks up behind this dude, grabs him, chokes him out. Another guy, another soldier hears them fighting in the room, and then proceeds to come into the room, just like in the game when like an enemy hears you, another one will come in, they'll kind of flank you and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty accurate to the game and a pretty cool demonstration of the gameplay. Two other hikers did just tell me there's a coyote right up in this area, so I do have to be a little aware of my surroundings right now. But anyways, one of my favorite things about this episode is all the nods to the video game. I thought this episode did a great job rebounding from our breather episode last week and really gave us some fan service in this one. And the subway tunnel, I thought, was one of the coolest sequences of this show, because I remember the section of the game where they start throwing all the flares and then the infected come in. I would always use the infected against the WLF. Like, I would just sit back, kind of like a vajayjay, and just let the infected do its thing and take out as many of them as possible before I make my way in. And that's kind of what they did. Well, they were kind of freaked out by hearing all the infected and everything going on, but they did let the infected kind of like steal the spotlight a little bit, the attention, and then they got on top of the train, snuck out. And this is actually where Ellie saves Dina through like one of those little subway gates you go through, where it's like the doors that rotate and they let you in, and then you can't get back out. Basically, Ellie had to stick her arm through to shoot one of the infected, and she ended up getting bit in the process. So after that, they make their way into the movie theater, and Dina's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you just let that thing bite you like that? And she's like, no, you don't get it. Like, I'm immune. I know you don't believe me. Just let me go to sleep tonight. I'll wake up perfectly fine in the normal. You can look at my bite mark. I promise you, I'm not lying. So she lets her do this. And in the morning they wake up. And this episode was so good up until this point. But the end of this episode was so awkward. Because as soon as Ellie wakes up, Dina's got like the little light on her. And then they have their little talk, and she's like, okay, I believe you. You're not infected. And she's like, look at her in the eye, and she's like, Ellie, I'm pregnant. And then they just start making out and hooking up like right afterwards. That was not her reaction in the game. I thought it was super awkward of a reaction for the show, too. And then the next morning, they make Ellie say, like, I'm going to be a dad? It was just weird. It was just a weird way to end the episode on such a awkward note after such a strong episode. But hey, what can I say? Can't like it all. But I really did enjoy this episode. I thought they did some great things with the Take On Me guitar scene, the subway tunnel, and the attack sequence in the radio tower. Comment down below what you guys thought. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed, my friends. Get out and enjoy nature. It's beautiful.